Every organism is the outcome of two factors, heredity and environment. Heredity is contributed by the parents, while environment is the contribution of nature. The importance of environmental studies was felt in 1970 due to the origin of pollution problem. It was also realized that public awareness is necessary regarding the protection of environment. And that is why the UGC introduced environment as a subject not only for the students of science but also for the students of arts and commerce throughout India. Out of the 9 planets around the Sun, the Earth is the only planet where life exists. All organisms, along with Earth and the atmosphere, form the biosphere.
Land as a natural resource. Land is one of the natural resources. Men depend on land to satisfy most of their needs. For instance, it provides for more than 95% of human food requirement, greater part of clothing and housing, and all needs of wood for fuel and construction. The availability of land is limited. Land occupies only 30% of the total area of Earth's surface. The rest is water. Even this 30% is not always habitable. Inhabited parts of land. About 90% of the world population, which is over 6 billion, occupies only 30% of the land area. The remaining 70% of the land is either sparsely inhabited or uninhabited. Sparse inhabitation means 10% of the population occupies the land area. The reason is that this land is either too rocky or the climate is too dry, too wet, too hot, or too cold. The topography of the land, such as rugged and steep slopes of the mountain and low-lying areas which are susceptible to waterlogging and extreme climate, impose restrictions on land for human use. Deserts and grasslands of Asia and Africa, tropical forests of South America, Africa and Southeast Asia, and polar areas are sparsely populated areas. These areas are inhabited by people whose survival is based on hunting, gathering, herding, and growing some crops. Antarctica is uninhabited except for temporary occupation by scientists for research purposes. Fertile plains and river valleys are suitable for agriculture. That is why these areas are densely populated.
Green plants are the primary producers. They produce food by using carbon dioxide and water. Sunlight is source of energy. Every green leaf is a solar cooker. The process of food manufacture is called photosynthesis. Oxygen is produced, which is vital for all organisms. The food produced by the green plants not only supports the plants but also the animals. All animals are consumers. The green plants are the basis of all the living world. Hence, study of botany is connected with the environment. Zoology and environment. Animals are an important component of the environment. They can be carnivorous or herbivorous. The balance of animals in biosphere is important for the overall balance of the environment. Man is an omnivorous animal and presently is considered to be the most dangerous. He has disturbed the balance of environment. Man cuts forests, converts them into agricultural land, and thereafter agricultural land to residential colonies. Multi-storied buildings are concrete jungles which are replacing the natural jungles. It is due to this mistake of man that foreign weeds like carrot weed have entered from Mexico. Thus, study of environment is connected with human activities also. Chemistry and environment. Chemical structure of soil, water and gases. Awareness about the environment.
It is needless to say that the very existence of man depends upon the balance of environment. Industrialization and economic progress have taken place at the cost of degradation of environment.
Poverty, population, and pollution are the common problems faced by developing countries like India. Pure air and pure water are luxury for big cities. One has to pay a very high price for these gifts of nature. It was therefore realized by the world to create an awareness regarding the environment.
UNO organized a conference on environment at Stockholm on 5th June 1972. Srimati Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister of India, considered poverty as the biggest pollutant of environmental balance.
In the memory of this conference, 5th June is observed as the World Environment Day every year. On this day, newspapers, radio, and television focus their attention on environmental problems. Bhopal gas tragedy due to leakage of MIC.
Land hunger. Because of exploding population, we are required to produce sufficient quantities of food. This is known as land hunger, which is creating a serious pressure on land. Farmland is under threat due to more and more intense utilization. When soil is used more intensively by farmers, it is eroded even more rapidly by wind and rain. Over-irrigation of farmland leads to salination because evaporation of water brings the salts to the surface of the soil, because of which crops cannot grow. Indiscriminate use of chemical fertilizers poisons the soil and eventually the land becomes unproductive. Land is also polluted by industrial waste and rural and urban sewage. As the urban sector grows and industrial expansion takes place, agricultural land and forests shrink. In this way, land hunger increases. Let the land be renewed. No doubt, land is a precious gift of nature and provides almost all resources for the survival and development of human civilization. If its deterioration is not halted, it will eventually turn into a non-renewable resource. This will create a grave situation which will have long-term adverse effects on human civilization. Hence, a rational use of land is required with careful planning to maintain its existence as a renewable resource.